JJ, we both listened to the press conference, lengthy press conference that happened in New Orleans when it comes to at least 10 people being killed in a terrorist attack. What do you have to say about what happened and the response so far from law enforcement?
Well, thank you very much, Victoria. This is a very surprising and a very tragic situation, but it's one that we've been warned about time and time again. And, I've spoken to you and your colleagues at Channel 7 numerous times over the last year, and we've talked about the fact that terrorism was rising. This particular situation was one in which clearly the individual and the others that this person supposedly was working with planned this out meticulously. And the FBI has said very clearly this is a terror attack, they believe, and that this individual wasn't working alone. And the fact that they tried to postpone the Sugar Bowl tonight suggests the fact that these other outstanding individuals are still out there. They're concerned about that. It's not at all clear that they're going to be able to wrap this up by tomorrow when they essentially reschedule this game for. But what it says to us, this is a major terror attack on a major holiday inside the U.S. in a place that's very high visibility. And this individual supposedly had some kind of connection, either inspirationally, ideologically, or otherwise, with a terror organization, is a major concern for not just New Orleans, but for the entire country right now.
JJ, another concern is that the FBI believes that this 42-year-old Texas man, U.S. citizen, was an Army veteran honorably discharged. When I heard that was shocking to me. What did you think when you heard that?
Well, people, it doesn't matter what your title or what your vocation is or what your station in life is, people often have grievances. This particular situation is not new. There have been others who have had connections to the military. In fact, here in Silver Spring, not that terribly long ago, there was an individual who conducted a massive attack later on down in Houston, but that individual had lived here in the Washington area while being a member of the military, but harboring grievances. And later on, this individual conducted a major terror attack back in 2009 down in Texas. So that the fact that this individual was a part of the Army doesn't mean much at all in this particular case. What does mean a lot right now is that a lot of people are concerned about the fact that there are others connected to him, most likely, and the fact that we don't know where they are.
Others, and also IEDs, the explosive devices that were found, they said they found two, they disarmed them, but knowing that those were found in two different locations, that has to be frightening for the residents of New Orleans.
Yeah, and it also tells authorities, too, that there's a possibility that this individual or someone else put these IEDs in those places before this all took place. And what's really interesting about this is the patience that appears to have been exerted in this situation, because in most cases, around 3:45 or 4 in the morning, people are starting to leave to head off to go do the next thing. On New Year's Eve, that's not the case, and the individual who drove that truck down the street clearly knew that, was waiting for it. One of the things that we often hear about people who are inclined to commit terrorism is that they always say, the police and the law enforcement, they have the watches, but we have the time. The patience that these people took to kind of set this up is what's really alarming to a lot of people now, because, again, the FBI believes there are others that may be involved. And from what we know right now, we just don't know what it is they may be planning or where.
So, JJ, I want to move this now from Louisiana to the DMV, because a lot of people are going to be seeing heightened security before this attack happened when it comes to President Jimmy Carter's funeral. And also we have January 6th and then January 20th, where President-elect Trump will be inaugurated. What do you think that's going to mean in terms of security happening here at home?
This is a game changer. This is a major terror attack in a major U.S. city for the first time in many years. We have been saying essentially that we have terror-proofed the country. We were ready for anything like this. There are 10 people that are dead, 35 more that are injured. There may be more deaths in this. There are several people, or at least one person or more people that are out there that we don't know where they are, what they're doing, what they're planning. The fact that they were able to pull this off in a place that had all of the capabilities and all of the tools to prevent it from happening, i.e.d. the massive trucks or the bollards, et cetera, to do it, but they didn't do it, suggests to people here in the DMV and in other places, especially here in the DMV, which is this is the crown jewel for terrorists to be able to launch an attack in the nation's capital. This says to them, if we can do it there, perhaps we can do it in the nation's capital. And it is something that I'm sure authorities here are going to lose some sleep over.
And we do know that when it comes to all the events that are going to be happening within the next month in the DMV, that multiple law enforcement agencies were already coming in to help with security. Is that number going to be increased now?
No doubt. No doubt about it. But also what will likely be increased is the kind of study that's being put into this, the kind of diligence that's going to go into all of the other things that lead up to, you know, how you prepare and the show of force and the fencing and all of the other things. There are other things that are going to have to be considered and reconsidered here and beyond. And I have no doubt about it that, you know, I know for sure, having talked to some people over the holidays who are involved in law enforcement, federal law enforcement and beyond, they've been having these discussions about task forces and what they would be doing and how they would roll out all of the tools and the gear that they need to make sure that all of these events that are taking place in January are going to be secured. Now they're going to have to go back and rethink some of these things. They're also going to have to take a look at some of the people as well that may be on their radar, like this individual, I'm certain. We heard Senator Kennedy talking about telling the truth. I'm not sure what that meant, but there seems to be a feeling amongst some people that there are things we don't know about threats to the U.S. So I'm sure everything that's being planned here in Washington is going to have to be given the once over, maybe twice or the third time because of this situation that took place down in New Orleans.
That's right. Senator Kennedy multiple times saying the truth will be told, also calling this objective evil. JJ Green, national security correspondent with our news partners at WTOP. Always appreciate your insight.
Pleasure, Victoria. Thank you.
We'll be right back.